We should be live on YouTube any minute now.
Just waiting for the alert.
I don't see the episode in our live list.
Give it a sec.
Oh, wait. Here it is. It has the Turok logo on it still.
My physical therapist is going to love this episode.
My regular therapist is going to love this episode.
Well, there you go. We are indeed live.
Yep, I see it.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Here's the issue. I'm not subbed to our channel.
Well, that's a problem. What are you, my kids?
Where they are.
My kids are like, I subbed to your channel, Daddy, but then I unsubbed because it wasn't cool.
Wow.
Yeah. We're not Mr. Beast.
Savage.
Hello.
That's not very professional.
Put it on vibrate.
I feel like everything that Red says, he's mansplaining at us.
You know what you do is you take it and you shove it in your mouth and you shut the hell up. Today on.
M-splaining.
I'm not nice. I'm not sure that Red has ever
Mars-splaining.
seen an M&M commercial. M-E-M.
Mm-hmm.
All right, GP, take it away.
All right, you guys ready? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Two of us are nuts. Today on. We didn't think out the point, did we? Okay. Everybody, hello and welcome back. Yeah, welcome back to Press Me to Cancel.
Start talking.
My name is Green. It is so good to see everybody with me today in this, what do we want to say, paper sack of deliciousness. I have my good friend Blue. Blue, tell everybody what's up.
Well, I decided that I was going to off Sinistar today.
Yeah, he had it coming. Also with me today, Orange. Orange, what's up?
I don't know what we're doing here, but I'm glad us spokes candies still have a job.
Yeah, look at a little crispy.
Oh,
and terrified.
Nice. And as always, the ever nut-filled Yellow.
Yeah.
Classic. And with us today for the first
I'm
time.
Here, I fucking hate it here. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Red. Yeah. Okay. It's good to see that recent news has not made you bitter. Red.
No. I'm
Thank
so
you for
happy
joining
that
us.
we got replaced. Love it here. I don't even know who this asshole is that works here. His chair was empty. I just sat in it.
Yeah, that's what I do. You see a chair, you sit in it. What's not to love? All right, so everybody, here's the topic for the day. Was it ruined or redeemed? So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss some of our favorite video game franchises that have maybe along the way had a misstep or two, and then we're going to discuss did that misstep, ruin the franchise for us? Did it ruin only the things that came after it? Did we, lose interest? Or at some point, was the franchise redeemed? Make sense? Everybody got it?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Guys, I'm up here. I'm up here.
Sorry, I stopped listening.
I'm up here. Okay.
I got it.
Sorry,
also,
I apologize for looking at your M.
There we go. Look, it's no different than your guys's. I'm actually, this is stupid. I just caught myself. My actual real life left hand is perched out like that. So good job with the casting, fellas. To that point, real quick, I do want to say for anybody playing along with their bingo cards, if you had Sinistar pointing to his background, you're probably not going to get that today. But if you have on your bingo card, GP does drag, go ahead and mark that.
Whoa.
I was going to say, he's pointing.
I am obviously pointing at
consistently pointing
at my NES Lego and some asshole's picture that I have fixed.
Can you answer me a question real quick? How do I have eyebrows? Like, what's my situation there?
We all have eyebrows. What are you
We all have
talking about?
eyebrows. You're just the
Yes,
only
but
one with
your guys
eyelashes.
are connected to your body. Mine are floating.
Mine are just lower than everybody's, and it's a real issue. And I please don't bring it up again. I'm very sensitive about it.
Also, I will mention this. For anybody who's only listening to the podcast today and you haven't seen what's happening, go ahead and pop on over to the YouTube channel and look at the Ruined or Redeemed episode. Everything will make a lot more sense. But if you're just listening, we should probably get to it so that the episode will start to make sense to everybody. So
I put on a hat for nothing.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
okay, so let's jump right into, I guess, what you could call the main franchise of main franchises. Kirby. No, it's Super Mario Brothers.
Mario.
Mario. Yes, so not every game in the Mario franchise has been, should we say, great. Some people would say they've all been strong or at least paradigm shifting or advancing. But some people would say, no, this game or that game sucked. What I would like to do is go around to each of you and ask, in your opinion, what is the weakest entry in the franchise? And then we'll go on from there. Let's go ahead and start off with Red.
That's an excellent question. I've been known to not like Mario 2 very much.
Sure.
And I felt like when we played that, it's a good game. It's not it's canon now, but it wasn't canon then. I mean, it is another game that they just pasted Mario onto in its defense. I'm sorry, my lips are wandering. That's another condition. Please don't bring it up again. Thank you. I'm very sensitive about it. I don't know. I felt like, Mario 1 was what Mario 1 was, right? And it was this thing, 8-2, no triggers. And then we drop into Mario 2, which is vastly different than anything before. And then arguably Mario 3, the best Mario on the Nintendo,
Hands down.
arguably, hands down, came and kind of redeemed itself. So it was like, it lulled out for me, but then you start getting into like the 3Ds, and I know 64 has a lot of beef. Anything on 64 has beef. It's just the 64. It has nothing to do with the games. Mario 64 is actually pretty cool, and it had some cool features and stuff to it, so I don't hate it. Mario seemed pretty consistent to me for the rest of its days. It starts getting into what's the one on Switch? What's that one called?
Is that the
Breath of
new
the
Super Mario
Wild?
Brothers?
Odyssey?
Oh, sorry. Odyssey.
Odyssey.
No,
Is it Odyssey?
that's
The one where he
that's
goes
Switch.
into like
Odyssey, yes.
Humanville or whatever.
Yes, Odyssey.
Oh, that's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just said Switch. Did I say Wii or did I say Switch?
You
I
said
heard
Switch.
Wii.
No, you said
I-
Twitch.
He said
Oh.
Switch.
Wow.
Hey,
I think
Orange.
Orange is just scared to talk. Maybe
I
listen.
think-
I don't know.
I think Orange may have candy in his ears.
Or Rice Krispies.
Too much snap crackle
Sure.
popping in there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
there's a lot of crunch coming out of that camera window.
So-
Right.
Yep, I'm sorry, real quick, back to it. Where do you fall on Odyssey? Were you saying Odyssey is shit, or are you saying Odyssey was good?
I would say it's shit, but it's weird. And I think it's the latest edition.
But weird's
it.
not bad, right?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
what
I
we're
fell
doing
on
now
2
is
and then came
fucking
back
weird,
3.
and hopefully this is not bad.
This is pretty bad and weird.
It can be both and still enjoyable.
Don't kink shame our candied viewers. Thank you very much.
I don't think the LSD's even kicked in yet, guys.
I don't know. I always felt like Mario got stronger, and of course, Sunshine has its jankiness to it, but I don't hate it.
Sure.
I don't really hate very many Mario games, to be honest. I'm terrible. This was not the first person you should have gone to.
No.
Mario.
Here's the flaws in your logic. When you say 2 was a misstep and so much different than anything that came before it, there was only one game that came before it. So really anything other than Lost Levels would have been like different from the thing.
Yeah, but if you're
before it.
looking, let's take a time machine. Jump in my Wayback machine real quick. And when you play Mario 1 and then they go, hey, Mario 2's coming out, and you play that, you're like, what? He can pick up stuff? And she can float? And you can play as Toad? That's weird. And then it goes to 3, right? And it kind of falls back into what 1 was doing.
Yeah, but
And
you
it
didn't
stays
know that at the
kinda
time 2
consistently
came
from
out.
there.
I
Yeah.
have
I'm just
I
saying-
have tried to pick up things that I'm standing on before,
Mhm.
and it doesn't go well.
Well, you got to try harder.
Well, no, it works. I just fall on my ass.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a good time though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really liked Mario 2. Mario 2 is one of my favorite 2D Marios, actually.
I agree.
Yeah, same. It's a classic.
I prefer it over 3.
Now, let me
But,
pose this to you real quick then, and you tell me where you guys come down because it hadn't been mentioned yet. Mario Galaxy, when it first came out, I loved that game. I thought it was great, but every time I go back to play it, I'm like, I don't care for this at all.
It's
For
boring.
me,
I don't know. I like Galaxy,
Yeah.
but I've only played
like
it the
that-
one time, so
that's-
maybe like a returning would not fare well.
Yeah.
For me,
Oh, go ahead.
I am going to agree with you, but not for the same reason. Like,
Okay.
I have found that most 3D Marios that I've enjoyed, going back and playing them after I'm done with them, it just feels like a chore. It's not interesting at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
before I loved Galaxy. I still think Galaxy is great. I can't go back and play it. Odyssey, really liked it. Can't go back and play it. It's once I'm done with a 3D Mario game, I'm just kind of done.
I agree with you, which is why I did not appreciate Galaxy 2 because it basically felt like I was playing Galaxy again.
More the same.
I've not
It-
played 2,
yeah.
But
so
that's not a weakness. 2 was fun because it was just like 1, but with new puzzles. My issue with 1, going back and playing it, is like, this is still, what was that, Blue? Oh my God. Oh, okay, sorry. The illusion
Yeah,
is
I
shattered.
mean, I'll say for
Sorry,
Galaxy, like it's. I mean, it's not a there. Like we're trying to say there's a bad Mario game, which let's be fair, even the bad Mario games are still better than a lot of other games out there, right? And I may
Well-
not like Galaxy. I find Galaxy a bit dull, and I didn't like the star bit collecting. I didn't like how there's the kid sister mode where you can give the Wiimote to them and they can shake around and pick up the bits. I didn't care for that.
Oh,
And-
see, Sinstress did that for me, and it
Yeah.
was grand. It was grand because there are
Yeah, that's the
parts
right
where you
partner.
need the ammo.
Yeah.
And it was great because I didn't have to collect it.
And that's the thing. You have to collect all the bits to progress, and that part was kind of draining. I'm kind of with Wolf. Once you've beaten a 3D Mario game, it's hard to go back. And like I love Odyssey quite a bit, but if I play it now, I never finish it. I usually get up to the same garden level just for the music is a banger, and then after that, I'm kind of done with it. It's they're not bad, but I don't know. For me, the worst, just to get in there, is Mario Sunshine. The drastic changed mechanics with the stupid jetpack water thing. Like the best parts of that game are the levels where you don't have the water pack. And those are like buggy as shit, but they're still better than the rest of the game. So for me, it'd be Mario Sunshine.
Okay.
yeah,
if
Mario
we're-
Sunshine was the fall off point for me too. Like that's
Yeah.
the only Mario game that I've actively hated.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I have 2 falling off points then for Mario. And the first one is 8-2, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I have 3 really. 8-2.
Wow.
And
The
then
list is getting longer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then
No, you know what? I
um,
got 10. Hold on.
Notable Mario hater, Blue.
Well, no-
Hates the
no,
whole
no, no,
franchise.
I as much as I make fun of Mario 3 and say that Mario World is the better Mario 3, I actually appreciate Mario 3. I do. I genuinely do. I
Good
like
stuff.
Mario World better, but my true first falling off point was Yoshi Island. And
Oh, see, we were
it's-
including those. I didn't think about Yoshi Island.
Yeah.
That's up there.
It is if the problem is it has 2 mechanics that are tied together, but it's 2 mechanics that are tied together that absolutely destroy that game. And the first one is chasing the baby Mario around. The chasing factor. Like it didn't need it. It's actually a difficult enough game. It's a good platformer if you take that out. And then you add on top of it the cry. Oh my dear God, the cry.
Yeah. I agree.
You know what's interesting
is
though
terrible.
is
Yeah.
about the bubble
I didn't-
mechanic and chasing after Mario is the later games in the series, the Wii version where you had the 4-player co-op, Mario Maker, etc. They have that bubble mechanic where your co-op player, if they die on the screen, they come back in a bubble and you have to save them and pop the bubble, or they can go into bubble voluntarily to help make the level easier. So they've taken that mechanic from Yoshi's Island and it's actually great in a co-op game.
Well, It makes sense in a
Even
co-op
other
game.
games have borrowed it, like Guacamelee.
It makes
Yes.
Love
sense in a
Guacamelee.
co-op game because the baby in this case, the little Mario in this case, when they're not needing to be chased down and popped, are helping you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, the second place that I fell off because I like you then come into Mario 64 and I loved Mario 64. But then you hit Sunshine. So really I have Yoshi Island and Sunshine. And those
Yeah.
two places I fell off. Now, Galaxy was great. Odyssey was great. But I'm kind of with you. Do I want to go back and play those? No.
Yeah, I think 64 is probably the one 3D one that I don't mind going back and playing over and over. Love that game every time. It's fresh, it's fun. There's a lot of different ways to play it. You could say that for the other ones. I think for the purposes of this discussion, Sunshine is probably, and I know we have at least 3 out of 5 for this, but I think Sunshine would be the fall off point. Even just critically, if you look at it in sales and all that other kind of bullshit, that was kind of a blow to the Mario franchise. That said, if we look at that as the point of fall off, have the games that have come out since then, we get into the galaxies, we look into the various Mario worlds and stuff for the Switch and the Wii U and the Wii, and then Galaxy 1 and 2, have those redeemed the franchises since Sunshine? What do you guys think? Red, let's start with you again.
Redemption is a strong word.
It's a 4-letter
Because when I
word.
think of it, wow, I can't spell that quickly. I'm an M. I only have one M. I only have one letter on me. Leave me alone.
Please don't sue M&M Corporation. Please don't sue.
Redemption is a strong word because honestly, if you think about it, there's going to be other games that I think we'll get into that'll be a little bit stronger. I feel like the discussion of Mario's redemption is it's tough to task because Mario always comes back strong, right? It'll fall off for a bit, but then we go back. But I'm with Sinistar Wolf on this one, where it's like, you know what? When I beat one, I'm good. I don't think I ever need to come back. I think I pushed so hard getting through those other ones that I'm like, we did it, kids. We're done. So it's not that it's not redeemable or that that's again my opinion. I just think that maybe there's some lulls in the series where Fonzie's about to jump the shark, but instead he just drives around the tank and he doesn't jump the shark. He just drives around it and then he drives away. Some of these other games that we'll talk about have really taken a jetpack over the shark. So, or a water pack, if you think about it, if we're going Mario Sunshine. Like if they ended on Sunshine, you'd be like, yeah, bro, okay. This thing hit the wall and hit it hard. But everything else, like you guys say, it's like Galaxy. We like Galaxy. Galaxy was a good comeback. Odyssey was good, but it just maybe doesn't have the replay value that 64 has. For some reason, 64 is such a heavily touted and heavily replayed game amongst many gamers that I know.
See,
So,
that's interesting to hear you say that, though, because one of the things that really makes Galaxy and Odyssey great is how different they are from each other and what came before. But again, to bring up, what you're saying about Mario 2 and how it was completely different from the first thing. I mean, at what point does innovation become a liability? How about that?
I think a real innovation and the real turning point has to be 64 because they never went back to the side scrollers except for like Mario Maker and stuff like that, which they were just paying homage to the old
Yeah,
stuff.
They totally
I agree with Orange here.
Yeah, new Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers Wii U. There's several.
Yes.
But aren't those
Mario's
just
3, 4?
rehashes of the originals?
No, they're totally different games.
No,
They are
they're
the
own
same.
thing?
They are the same platforming mechanics, but they are
Okay,
new.
I don't know
they
enough
are
about
new-
Mario.
They
Let's
are
talk
new
about
maps,
Sonic,
and they have.
I'll blow your minds with Sonic.
I do want to say one thing. One thing that I kind of wish they would do more of, and that was I almost forgot about it. But Super Mario 3D World, that's one with Cat Mario. That is an excellent game, and it's a bit of the 2D, but it is technically a 3D Mario. And I can play that one again and again. The gameplay, the level design is tight all the way through. I love 3D World, and I kind of wish they did more of that.
I feel like they
3D
released
World,
a bunch of games though that were kind of the classic side scroller again with different power ups, and I kind of have. I don't know how many of those exist, but it feels like there's at least 6 or 7 now. How wrong am I?
They're like 3D World. 3D World's pretty unique in that it's the 2D style of power-ups, but it's a 3D. It's a 3D plane you're moving along, and the levels have some good
Yes.
verticality to them because of the Cat Mario power-up.
Okay.
But the levels are not like fully fleshed out like free roam 3D like you see in Mario 64 or the other games. Instead, it is a track. So think a track with depth, much like you would get in a beat 'em up or something, where you can move up and down and go side to side. So it's built differently than the traditional 3D Mario game. So I would count that more in line with the more traditional Marios.
Okay.
Just
It's kind of like a
because
hybrid
it
of the
is,
two.
you know,
Yeah.
it is, but it leans more closely to the 2D games because of the power up style, the gameplay, the pace, and the fact that it's constantly like, here's a new level, here's a new level, here's a new level, here's a new level. And most of the 3D games are like, here's a million things to do in one level. Here's another million things to do in this other level here, you know.
I agree with
Yellow,
you 100%.
I wanna call out Yellow that your expression, and it makes me trust you.
You have a very trusting face.
Yes. Now,
And it makes me
Orange
angry.
looks incredibly surprised by everything we're saying.
Stop looking so shocked,
And-
Orange. Get
and-
over it.
And Green, stop giving me
Yeah.
those bedroom eyes.
Oh, I can't, sugar.
Oh boy.
We don't have
Just-
Mars budget here.
Yeah, we're running on the cheap.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and
Not a
I'm
candy
going to come
coated
out and
shell.
say it. You're all wrong. The falling off point for the Mario series, Mario Golf. I'm kidding.
Is,
I
of
love the
course.
golf
No,
series.
Mario Golf is
Mario
freaking
Golf.
fantastic. Yeah, you take
I-
that back.
I was wondering. I absolutely take that back. I love
You don't
those
even joke
freaking-
about that here. We
I
like
was
Mario
wondering
Golf.
if anybody was going to bring up RPG, Mario RPG,
Mm.
but nobody
It's
did.
good. Who do?
I know.
Now-
I agree. I like it quite a bit. I don't think it
Now-
was a
I
misstep
haven't
at all.
played it, so I don't have a stake in the game.
I really enjoyed Bowser Inside Story
Yeah.
on
the
DS,
Mario and
DS,
Luigi
3DS,
games
whichever. Yeah.
They're
okay.
really good. I've not played a single Mario and Luigi I didn't enjoy.
Other than Mario is missing.
Yeah, but nobody.
What
likes
do you
that
have
one.
against edutainment?
I don't like to be smart.
Oh,
I
you know what's
enjoy
one?
being stupid. Thank you.
Okay.
There's-
Red
Don't
gets
take
me.
that away
Red
from
gets
me.
me. Red
Is
gets me.
Is it fair to say that Mario, if there was a misstep, it has since been redeemed?
Yeah, there's
I will
definitely a redeem
say-
there for sure.
I will say it's redeemed because I do honestly look forward to the next game as they kind of progress into the next game. I do.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know, their genre or their franchises where I'm like, dead to me and move on.
Like I want to say
Beat
the
it
one
in
part
the
of Mario
trash
that I
pile.
don't like. Sorry,
Mhm.
Red, is Paper Mario series. The latest one, Origami King on the Switch. While it is
So
not
good.
a bad game, because of restrictions placed on the dev team by Nintendo, they couldn't use a lot of Mario characters. So the story in that one has you fighting bosses that are like, I think it's like a hole punch, a stapler, like office supplies.
Yes.
Your villains
The
are
enemies
office
of
supplies.
paper.
Sounds like my job.
It's the enemies of paper, and it's brilliant.
But it's a gimmick, and they run with it too far. And I hope in a sequel to Paper Mario that they can actually like break back into actual Mario characters and not raid the desk of office supplies as their source material. So that for me is a
Uh,
failure.
Ooh,
Well,
okay.
I
The one-
loved
I think
the
Thousand Year Door carries that entire goddamn franchise by itself.
I loved
I
Paper
love that.
Mario. I loved Super Paper Mario on the Wii. I thought that one was a gem. Yeah.
Very clever mechanics in Paper Mario, personally.
That's almost like saying Luigi's Mansion is gimmicky for him being a scaredy cat. Like, I mean, it's in the
Like
title.
Orange?
That's what it is. The whole idea. Yeah, it's a crutch of that. I think it's very cheeky. The whole, Origami King, and then having to fight, the embodiment of the enemy of paper. But again, for me, I thought it was fun. It was a really. What happened to Blue? Blue,
Sorry, my mouth was
come
tired.
back, baby.
My mouth was tired.
Oh, that happens. The amateurs.
Oh,
My immersion.
No, I would say that I mean, if we want to talk about Paper Mario specifically, the falling off point for that was probably Color Splash.
Yeah.
Ooh, I never
And
A
played
then
lot
I
of
that one.
folks
think-
didn't like that one.
Color Splash, like I was excited to get it, and then I played it, and it was trash. And I tried to stick it out because I was like, this was one of the games that I really wanted, and I could not. It was just so bad, so boring. It like the world was really interesting, but the gameplay was so awful that it just turned me away repeatedly. And apparently the DS follow-up to that, Sticker Star, was more of the same. So I would imagine Origami King rectified some of those issues, even if they couldn't use a lot of Mario characters. It sounded like Origami King was at least well received.
Yeah.
wrecked
And
him.
the combat was
Barely
fantastic.
knew
in it.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the logic system in it's brilliant. Maybe they should have brought in more Mario characters like Gino or somebody we haven't seen in 25 years. But
Mallow? Oh, good.
Mallow,
fuck
yeah,
Mallow.
sure.
Yeah, nobody.
They're
nobody
owned by
misses him.
Mallow-
Squaresoft. That's why we don't see them.
Mallow can die in a fire. Like he can melt like a mallow
God, that
should
sounds
in a
tasty.
fire.
That
Yes,
sounds
it's
very
very
delicious. It's
Tastes
better than
really tragic.
M&M's. It's better
Mm,
than
Tragically
melty.
tasty. Melt in the fire, not in your party.
diaper. Yes. All right.
Yes,
so
that's right. Finish each other's
Well,
sandwiches.
I
Sandwiches.
have to read this one out. Jer put Orange thought he was farting and now needs to change his shorts.
Are you guys wearing pants?
Orange has misjudged.
I guess wearing pants. Again, I'm very method.
There are orange skid marks everywhere.
Tasty skid marks.
What's all this
Crispy's
crispy
in his
stuff
shorts.
around us?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Okay. Wow.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Again, it sounds like we can all agree Sunshine was lackluster, but some of the entries since then, even if they're not the most replayable, have redeemed the franchise. So starting off with a redemption, I'll take it. Now, typically, I would like to go around and ask everybody else's opinion before interjecting my own. For example, in the Mario situation, I asked Red, got his opinion, and then went ahead and just told everybody what I think anyway. So for this next one, I'm going to go ahead and just
That's
start off
accurate.
with my
Oh,
thoughts
that works.
because we tried to prep this episode a little bit about, which franchises are we going to use. And Metroid came up, and then everybody started discussing which Metroid game was the shittiest. And nobody mentioned the game that, for me, I thought would be the universal standout, which is Other M.
No,
Everybody
I
was
forgot that
like,
existed.
"Oh, was there a bad one? What about this one?
It
What
was
about
so
no,
bad I
Other-
forgot it.
So
Yeah.
now
Other
I
M.
actually remembered that. So
Okay.
I meant to say something and I didn't. But yeah,
Okay.
Other M, apparently the gameplay was decent, but the game was very poorly received because it portrayed Samus as a sort of damsel in distress despite being the heroine. So
Right.
it didn't do her character any favors by any means, and that was where the backlash was with that one.
Yeah.
But
They-
as far
they-
as the gameplay goes, it's supposed to be top tier. Just the story is garbage.
Did they? I never played it, but did they fridge Samus?
No, they portrayed her as a character who was very nervous and afraid of things, whereas Samus is very much not that type of person.
She's
Yeah.
a badass.
Like intergalactic badass. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
Right.
multiverse of madness to her, where they undid a lot of her character arcs and stories by changing her personality to fit whatever the game was supposed to be.
Okay.
And it sucked. It had the potential, and I think what stands out for me with Other M is the hype for it and what they showed. Everybody was so on fire. Like this looks great. Like Yellow was saying, the gameplay looks solid. All the classic moves were there. They brought the spin kick or the corkscrew kick back, and it was just so cool to see, and it looked beautiful. And then you start playing, and within 30 minutes, you're like, who is this? Surely this
Yeah.
is some sort of not Samus doppelganger that the real Samus is going to come in and destroy, and it never happened.
So is the other M then M and M and M?
No,
That's a
look,
lot
she
of
can't
other
take our
Ms.
jobs. Okay, we've already lost one
Metroid
job.
Other
this
M
week.
and M.
No.
Look, Blue, if you're not going to take this seriously, then
You're gonna
You
get
look
us
at me in the
fired
eyes.
from another job, dude.
oh, twice in a week.
We were literally designed for the last job. Fuck. Sorry, Mars.
What are they going to do with all those
See,
really
here's
fun
my-
commercials we were in at the movie
We're gonna
theaters?
throw. I'm gonna steer the bus back onto the road here real quick,
Why?
and then I'm gonna drive it right off.
you
That's it, baby. Jesus Christ. So other M, yes, but what I mean, maybe Metroid Prime 2 was a little lackluster, and I know people don't love 3 out of that series, but where did Metroid go bad other than other M? I mean, Fusion was
Oh,
great.
I can name a few.
The
the
Super
Game Boy
Metroid
one.
is fantastic.
Yeah, Super Metroid's fantastic,
Samus
but Metroid.
I
Returns?
like
It's
Yeah,
boring
Samus
as
Are
fuck.
you kidding me? I
Yeah,
love
Return
that
of
game.
Samus
Oh.
was super well received back when it came
I
out.
badged that
No.
shit. They also made the
Yeah.
remake, and then they made an official remake.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold
I
on,
love
hold
that
on, hold
one.
on a
Yeah.
second.
Return of
The-
Samus was very well received when it was released. I knew a bunch of kids who were like, "Holy crap!" I didn't have a Game Boy, but I knew a bunch of kids who had
Mutated
Game Boys
Metroids?
and loved it.
Let's fucking go. Oh, there
Okay,
it is.
I want somebody Metacritic Metroid 2 Return of Samus on the Game Boy, because like I remember it being received really poorly and really boring. Like I'm not saying it's bad, but when I compare it to 1 and Super Metroid and Zero Mission, it's definitely the weaker of those. Like in the
I just looked it
remake,
up.
Yeah, it's
said Jake's wrong.
reviews.
Good thing
Yeah,
he's not here.
Oh yeah, oops.
Orange is wrong, but Orange is always
Orange
wrong.
is wrong. Yes.
Let me tell you about Circus
its
Charlie.
reviews were pretty good.
You want
If
to talk
you're
about
looking
crash
at
and
the,
burn franchises?
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a couple of outlets didn't do it a whole lot, but like, I wish we could see the reviews from like EGM and stuff because they're not listed on
So
here.
we're talking
Yeah.
Samus Returns, right?
On the Game
No,
Boy.
Return
I
of
got
Samus.
a 9 out
Okay,
of 10 on
hang on, hang on.
IGN.
Okay, Return of Samus on let's see, game rankings 79%, One Up D plus, Famitsu 25 of 40,
There you go.
IGN though 9 of 10,
Yeah, but that's
Nintendo
IGN.
Life
Yeah.
7 of 10, and Entertainment Weekly gave it an A plus.
This is the
I
original
would
Game
raise
Boy
my
one,
hands,
right?
but I'm so mad they're by my side.
All right, go ahead.
He's
Go ahead.
giving us the listen look, guys. Listen.
How can you? Yes, listen. How could you say it was poorly received when there's been 2 other iterations of it? One made by a company that had nothing to do with Nintendo, that was then told to stop, which is probably what we're going to have happen to us here real soon. Or Nintendo then retake it and put it back on the Game Boy Advance, just like the one that they were making on their own.
So here's
and it
the
was
thing.
super well received
I'll tell you why it wasn't as good as the other ones in the series. Because it's very
because it
same,
wasn't
right?
Circus Charlie.
No, I know it wasn't Circus Charlie, but like the idea that you're hunting all those Metroids, you have to find every last one of them. There's like 100 of the damn things, and a lot of the boss battles felt the same,
It's like 164, actually, I think.
but they weren't very distinctive, right? Yes, Mr. Badging, I know. But even the 3DS remake, and don't get me wrong, like that studio, Mercury Stream, I think it is, who did Dread, which is fucking
Mercury Steam.
fantastic. But even Samus Returns, the remake on the 3DS, had the same problem. And they added variety to the encounters with the Metroids. But even with the variety, it was still kind of slower paced and a little bit plotting in places, and it felt a little bit too long. Maybe if they cut the number of Metroids you had to find in half, it might have been a more snappier game, maybe flow a little better. Like there's building blocks there that are used in other games in the franchise that are great, but I think the Game Boy one was a misstep. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, the amount of graphic power it squeezed out of a Game Boy, pretty freaking baller, right? The graphics are really good for what it was. It's just the gameplay felt a bit samey. That's all.
So
If it's
official UK
Samus,
Nintendo magazine gave it an 80%. Trying to find reviews for this, but here's the thing: this has been pretty consistent here. Like, look at. I know we haven't talked about Zelda, but think about this. Look at Zelda 1, and then look at Zelda 2, right?
It's the
Look at
same thing
Mario
as
1,
Mario. It's the
And
same
then
thing
look
as
at Mario
Mario.
2. Now
And
look
then
at
it goes
Metroid
back.
and look at Metroid 2. which of those 3 franchises held closest to the first game?
Yellow
Metroid.
making points. Yellow making
Ah.
points.
Saying.
He has that trustful look on his face.
Remember when you told me that was weird? Yeah, we were going to bring that up again. I'm still keeping my arms at my side. I'm very disappointed in everyone.
Guys,
Yeah,
that's dad is disappointed in us.
I am. You said that was weird. Then you told me taking feet pictures was weird, and I just don't see it.
I don't think taking the feet pics is a weird thing. It's more about the pricing for them that I think you've gone askew on.
Hey,
but
man,
that's
if you
just
got
me.
a talent, never do it for free.
Oh, I'm not saying don't sell them. I'm just saying that 400 for just a left foot is a bit steep.
Know your target market. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, look at me. I'm over
trying to
here
find
raising
it.
my raising
yes.
my eyebrow.
I'm sorry.
Sus.
Soup sus. All right, so are we thinking? Well, okay. I was saying other M being the fall off point or the misstep. Orange was saying Metroid 2. Does anybody else
Incorrectly.
feel a
I
different entry, or are these the two
I
never-
like
points?
the game. I'm just saying.
I never felt like I wanted to go back and play another Prime after the first one. I never felt like I did.
Yeah.
I love Prime.
I loved Prime. No, I loved Prime, but there was something about it that I was like, and I've now completed that. That's good.
I don't know.
Like-
I really like the aspect of the first person shooter for Metroid. I think that was a cool direction to go in, and I think
I agree.
Wolf the old podcast guy Wolf did a really cool stream of it, and it brought back some good nostalgia. Rip to that gentleman.
Oh yeah, that was a great gameplay series.
I loved Prime. I loved the first Prime. I did.
I love you too.
Oh.
Wow. Green's not a prime color. Yes, it is RGB. Damn it.
Yes, it is.
Well,
it depends on if it's
product
it depends on
yellow
wait. It depends on if it's pigment or light.
or light. Yeah.
Your
The secondary color,
face
but
is
not
pigment.
secondary in our hearts. Yeah.
Well, look, a gal never shares all her secrets, so I won't tell you if it's pigment or light, but I will say nothing. Never mind.
Yes,
I've been
yes.
too suggestive, and we're already trying not to get sued.
Say, Metroid Prime 3 was super good. I really liked Metroid Prime 3. I feel like 3 was the best of the franchise,
That was corruption,
like
right?
of the Prime series.
Yeah, because
No,
Echoes was
2
2. I thought Echoes.
Oh, 2 was Echoes. Okay, so
2
yeah.
was Echoes, and then Corruption was 3. I thought.
I thought 3 was really good and tied up the
I could have 'em
franchise
back
really well. 2 I felt was a little lacking, and so I can see why people might not have liked 3 as much, just because of the perception of 2. It's like going from Final Fantasy 7 to Final Fantasy 8 to Final Fantasy 9. The drop off from 8 hurt 9. The drop off from 2 hurt 3. But 3 was really good.
And I think if you go back,
yeah,
I think
Echoes and Corruption. Correct.
Yeah, I think Echoes of the trilogy, just kind of to echo all of that. 2 was definitely the weakest, even critically and just across the board. 2 was a misstep, and then 3 ended on a very high note for that series until we get Prime 4. We'll have to see what happens. But
it's sadly never happening, I think.
No, it's happening.
So-
They just rebooted it development.
You
like
keep
twice.
your blue thought patterns out of this discussion, sir.
Guys,
Well,
I'm kind of blue about Metroid Prime.
Oh Jesus
Oh.
God.
So, have you guys all played Dread, or no?
Yes.
Yes. Beat it.
Yeah.
Started
Great
to,
game.
haven't finished it. Did not care for it.
Fantastic game.
Really?
Dread
Did not
was
care
rad.
for it.
Oh,
Dread is
Dread. I'm
so
sorry. I'm still
good.
thinking about Other M. I apologize. I have
Oh.
not yet played
No.
Dread. I apologize.
Okay,
That's
no,
my bad.
Dread, I haven't completed it, but God, that game, that if you want to talk about redemption,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is a redemption. Like that game, I think was built for redemption.
Did it
Yeah,
need
like-
to be redeemed though? I don't think Metroid needed to
Well,
be redeemed.
I think
Well,
it was a
yes.
redemption. I think it was a redemption to the 2D side-scrolling platform.
I mean, it's a callback. I'll give you that, but I don't know about a redemption.
Well,
No,
it's redeeming
I
after
would-
Other M.
I would venture to say that a lot of people did not bother with Prime because it was so different from the previous Metroid games. And, it just because you like
mean, that's
Metroid
fair.
doesn't mean you necessarily like first-person shooters.
that's
Especially
fair.
first-person shooters with some confusing level of mechanics because as much as I love Metroid Prime,
GameCube.
mechanically, it's a little tricky. Not even because of the controller, just because, you're in first person doing the things that Samus does. The friggin'
Green, you all right out there?
What?
You all right out there? Green?
What's the hyper jump where you can
Mhm.
just keep jumping and jumping? I think that's something you can unlock in one of them. There's the
Mhm.
grappling hook. Like all these things are a little weird to navigate first person. And
Yeah.
so that probably threw some people too. Like cool games, true to the feel of Metroid, but when you go from 2D side scroller to first person shooter, you're gonna lose some players, period.
Now, I do want to call out that this is totally aftermarket, but there's a group that took the Dolphin emulator, whichever emulator it was, and created an emulator called Prime Hack. It is designed specifically for Metroid Prime, and it does things like makes it use 2 sticks, like a modern, um, 3D game, and it's actually fantastically good.
Does that work with all 3 of them or no? Do you know?
I know that you can play the trilogy on it, Metroid Prime
Oh,
trilogy.
okay. See, I would like to try that because I'm one of the ones who bounce off Prime pretty quickly. I'm not saying it's bad, I just couldn't wrap my brain around just exploring the environments and whatnot and the constant scanning of things. So for me, I never really finished Prime. I never touched the second or third game. And I mean, I didn't care for Fusion even as a 2D entry. It was kind of dull. And then we had Samus Returns, which I enjoyed, but it's based on Metroid 2 from the Game Boy, and I have issues with that. So
See
really,
that
for me,
backpedaling?
so
You
see,
see
for
this
me, the
man
redeeming
backpedaling?
is in Dread. Dread is everything I wanted in a Metroid game. Dread is like the sequel to Zero Mission and Super Metroid, and it does it so well. I love freaking Dread. So that's me. So total
Dread's
redemption. I think I needed it.
I think those of us that have played it can agree. Dread is fantastic.
Yeah.
Dread is really good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter
Aw.
when the fall off of the franchise happened because it's been redeemed
Oh,
in Dread.
oh.
Okay, guys, I like that, and now I feel bad for having not played Dread because I definitely need to, but I think I have a case of that. Just really didn't like Other M, and now I just have a bad taste in my mouth for anything that's not the originals or Prime.
Honestly, I think Dread is a game built. If you liked Super Metroid,
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
it's a perfect game.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
an homage to Super Metroid. It really is.
It is. Super Metroid is easily top of
It's the
series for me.
best. It's the best in the class for me.
Yeah, without a
To
To
doubt.
me, Dread
And I'm
was
a huge fan of Prime, but yeah,
Yeah,
Super
gonna
Metroid.
to
have
me,
to
Dread
fucking-
was Metroid finally
Okay.
catching up to Shadow Complex from what, 15 years earlier?
I like it.
Dig it.
There's a
I
rumor
also like
actually
the
that Dread's
connectivity,
getting
if
a
you guys
sequel,
remember.
too. Yeah.
For Prime and Fusion, how you could link up and share some file information between those two. Did you guys ever do that to unlock different
Yes.
suits and such?
Yep.
No.
I didn't have
thought
any
it was
friends,
brilliant.
so
You could get the Fusion suit if you had played a certain way on Fusion. You could play as Samus on the GameCube with the Fusion suit and various things like that. It was very fun and I thought very, very cool.
I think I
nobody's
used them
mentioned
the
it.
other way so that I could play Metroid on my GBA.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
now I,
I
want to play
don't know.
Metroid.
That's great. Yeah, now that's exactly what I want to do. I want to go and play through the Prime trilogy because I still haven't played 2 or 3, and then I have to play Dread.
I would suggest using Prime Hack to play through the Prime trilogy.
Yeah, I might give
Why?
that a
I have
go.
it on the Wii, and
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
brilliant.
that works.
Yeah,
That works as well. But if you want to
on the
play
Wii, it was really good.
did they
Okay.
make it 2 sticks? No, I guess nunchuck, right? Did they use the
Yep.
nunchuck?
Use
Yeah,
the
it was
chuck, yeah.
nunchuck and
Okay.
Wii remote, and
it
it
was
was for all 3 of them.
genius.
So they made it.
Okay.
They rolled the control scheme back into the first 2.
Okay,
really
so
worked.
it's like
It was
it's
good.
like Prime Hack for like say an Xbox 360 controller.
Sure.
Okay.
I have no idea, but I'll believe it. Sounds good. Sounds right.
Cool.
Sounds educated.
Okay.
Okay. So Metroid redeemed. I love it.
Agreed.
Third on my list today is going to be Final Fantasy. Now I know some of us are going to have very strong opinions here. Very
No.
strong opinions. And I want to go ahead and start with Blue, who might have the strongest of all of them. Blue, what would you say would be the franchise misstep, and has it been redeemed?
So not having played 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, but having played 7 and then having seen people play through 7 remake, ruin for me.
You think it took all the way to remake to ruin it for you?
Well, I didn't play anything past
He
7
skipped a
because
Gave you so many options.
I
because of that.
liked 7, but I think I like 7 because it was a single game instead of 17.
I was gonna say that seems like the long con.
Well, what I'm saying is the latest iteration, which is the 7 remake, right?
Yeah, game of the year last year. Yes.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Was it?
Boy. It was
I'm gonna go to
somebody's
my
game
mind
of the
palace.
year. It was somebody's game of the year on this
Mhm.
He's no longer here. He might be replaced by Green.
I ate
but
him, and he was delicious.
According to my mind palace, game of the year of 2021 was Hades.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
But no, I mean honestly, like the last thing that they did, which was 7R, right?
Mhm.
And they decided to take 7, which was a complete game, and create a remake that's only the first quarter, maybe a third if you're generous,
Maybe a
If you're
third.
and
nasty.
then say, we'll make the others if this is successful, but there's no guarantee. And then they're like, okay, we're going to make the others, but now it's going to be 3, maybe 4. No,
Okay.
ruined.
I hear you, but since you haven't played the whole game, I mean, can you really
I
sound off
played
on it?
all of 7.
Have
I
you?
played all of
Have
7.
you?
Sir, I played all
No,
of
they haven't
7.
released it yet. Also, real quick, I do want to mention this. We are going to talk about just the numbered series. The remake qualifies, but we're not going to include like Tactics or
Thank
Crystal
God.
Chronicles or any of the auxiliary things. We're just going to go with the
agree.
numbered series.
And
Okay.
so if you look at the latest release, which is 7R, ruined.
No, 15 came out after 7R, didn't it?
So
Is-
here, let me
no,
before
did
we
it?
get into
No.
8, because I know
No,
we're
no,
going to talk
no.
about 8, but
Not at
15
all. Okay.
is the one I played. 15 is not bad. It almost brought me back into the franchise. There was a lot of good ideas there. The story was okay, but the last fourth of the game, there's a time skip, and the plot goes off the rails, and it's just
Yeah.
weird. It's just so weird. And the DLC had
15
mechanics that were so much better. They should have been part of the base game, and they weren't. So it was almost.
I think you're
I'll let
talking about the TV show New Girl. It was good for the most of it, and then it had a weird time jump, and all the things got weird. So
Oh.
they New Girled.
Sure.
Sure. Nobody? Zoe Deschanel? Okay. Never mind.
Wasn't there a television show that actually came up with a phrase before New Girl? It might have been Happy Days.
Tuesday,
No.
Friday,
No.
happy days.
Jump the
Thursday,
goldfish.
happy days. These
Yeah.
days of love.
Happy
You're a press
and
B. We don't know
free.
the meaning of the word "jump the shark." We would never do something for sweeps.
Nor would we sell out.
For sweets.
No.
It's like people only do things it's because they get paid, and that's just really sad.
So I have a question.
That fucking mustache on red. I'm sorry. I just can't deal with it.
So I have a question.
for it.
Final Fantasy has really fallen off so many times and keeps getting back up. It's basically a Chumbawamba song at this point.
Or a Rocky franchise movie. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because it fell off at 3, it fell off at 5, it fell off at 8,
Stop right
it
there.
fell
I'm sorry.
off at
Ten?
Fell
So
off
it's-
at 2,
so it's-
not at 3. 3 was fantastic.
So it's the
3
Windows
was
operating
not
system.
fantastic. It required grinding in the first 4 hours. What is that?
No, that was 2.
No, that was 3. 3 is the one that got a 3DS remake, which was absolute shite.
No, that was good too. 2 also
No.
required heavy grinding and horrible mechanics. 3 I thought was stellar.
2
Really
didn't
interesting.
require grinding. You could go
I
through
need
the
to
whole
level
game
up my
with
defense.
no
I
weapons
better
on, and you'd
die.
be great.
Right.
Whoa.
Oh.
Was there an earthquake?
You okay over there, Blue?
I don't know what's happening to him.
Having
Sure.
a moment.
Sure.
He needs a Twix.
Yeah. I will say for
Only a laugh,
Final
though.
Fantasy, there has been more missteps in that franchise than there have been winners for me. Oh boy. Like 16 is coming out in what months? Not very far off. I don't think I've been less interested in a Final Fantasy game in forever. Like I had some hype for 15 because I played a lot of 14 online and I loved 14 online. But when 15 was announced, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, oh, okay. But now that 16 has been announced and I've seen trailers for it, I don't think I'm even going to bother. Like I've just not had any interest in the franchise anymore. They've killed what made it good for me. And what I liked, the last time I generally liked Final Fantasy might have been like 6 and 7, and that's decades ago.
There's
You're
been some
really
really
gonna
good
overlook
stuff
9
since
on
then,
this
but I
one?
understand what you're saying. It
I'd
took
never
me a
played
long
9.
time to want to get outside of the. I mean, 7 was fun, but then 8, I feel so hard out of
Yeah.
love with it. Like it took me a while to come around to 9. I'm still going through 10 now for the first full time, and same thing with 12. Like I don't have an interest in 11. 12 I own. I've got like the super deluxe edition, but every time I pop it in, I'm like, this is a whole new thing to learn. So I'm with you guys. There's this probably more than any other franchise we'll talk about has had the most missteps, but I don't think it's irredeemable. My own opinion, after 15 and such, it needs a redemption, and it hadn't gotten one. So it's not that it's irredeemable. It's just out on the limb at the moment.
I think the redemption comes from 14, personally.
Does that
I
count?
think they keep adding stuff and nostalgia into 14, and I know it's an MMO, so you got to deal with
Yeah.
with that
But
whole thing.
there are games that have been released after 14 that are
It's true,
failures.
but they've been putting a lot of their eggs on that MMO basket, man.
Yeah. And like
It's a
14
it's a
itself
cash
is a
cow,
redemption
like anything.
story, right? We should talk about that.
Yeah,
Like 14 when it
14
first
fell
came
on
out
its
was
face.
hot garbage.
Yeah, that
And then they
that
rebuilt it.
that's gonna have to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
Whoa,
You guys
Orange.
are-
Jake has the term hot garbage. I'm
Look,
sorry,
he doesn't work here
Orange.
anymore,
That's-
so I'm pretty sure I got a contract
Trish.
NDA that says I get his chair, his Oculus, and I get his catchphrases too. The
Wow.
flip
And
side is I
apparently
also
that
have to
64
love
controller.
Circus Charlie, so them's
I
the
mean,
breaks.
I'm over here pointing at Sinistar's background, so I guess I got that.
Bingo.
I'm in Mega Man.
My eyes
Sometimes
are
I
so
throw up.
dried out.
Well, you've been doing that staring contest since the beginning.
Yeah.
I need some Visine. Be nice to blink.
Okay,
Your eyes aren't
Oh.
red, but the rest of you is.
so 14,
Super
didn't
dry.
14 burn and crash and burn on initial release?
It did.
Yeah,
Very much so.
Yeah.
And that's why they shut it
Realm Reborn?
down for what, 6 to 12 months and then re-released it as a Realm Reborn.
Mhm.
And ARR is fantastic.
yeah, it is. Everything subsequently after that has also been fantastic. In 14, let me
Yes.
clarify.
Every
that.
release has been
We're
pretty
missing
epic.
an obvious. We're missing an obvious cliff to this franchise, and I don't know why I have to be the one to point it out. You listen, the original host that used to sit in this chair that was a Mega Man enemy, apparently.
I said 8.
I feel egged. You said 8.
Yellow did say 8.
Yeah, I listed
Okay.
3, 5, 8, and 13.
Are we just ignoring the fact that 13
that was it.
exists? Are we just ignoring the
I-
fact that 13 is a hallway Final Fantasy game?
If we're talking about redemption, like 14 came after 13 and you're saying it's a redemption.
Hey, 15 is a redemption compared to fucking 13. Let's be honest. You kidding me?
Okay.
Yo, the game
Okay.
really opens up about 200 hours in.
Yeah, that's everything I've heard. Like it gets really good 40 hours in.
I know that for a fact.
I'm not doing that.
The original
I
podcast
tried.
host told me before I came on here. He gave me some
Look,
pointers.
Everybody wants to be a Persona game at, hundreds of hours.
I don't want to be a Persona game, nor do I want to play one. I ain't got that kind of time.
Same.
My
got
boss
an
tried
M,
to
not a
convince me of
P.
that too. Sorry, go ahead.
My marriage suffers enough. But I'm just saying. I mean, listen. As much as we dump on 8, because 8 is awful, is the black hole of the series. And it did 9 dirty, because I know people that didn't play 9 because 8 was so freaking bad.
That's
And
me.
if anybody wants to clap back at me, you know where to find me. Mars. Never mind. I'm fired and I'm here now. But we don't ever talk about how terrible 13 is, and how it's
Okay.
literally nothing.
Novi,
It's
I'm
nothing.
not saying Persona's bad. I am not saying that, Novi. I'm saying, dear God, they are long. They are long.
They're
That's
The
very-
fair.
first 10 minutes of
Persona
Persona 5 is
long.
great, but then I fell off. So I'm not saying it's bad. I can't
10
commit to that kind
minutes.
of commitment.
When Circus Charlie is literally a 10-minute game, I can see why your attention span is so short.
I like to see you beat it in 10 minutes there, Mr. Red. Let's see you beat it in 10 minutes.
It's not that hard.
Is that before or after Dragon's Lair?
Right after Dragon Slayer. Well, I'll add that to the list. Does Circus Charlie have achievements?
Yes, I think it does.
God.
You know,
I want to
who
show
has
whoever
I
came
can't
up
wait
with
to
that, just for
batch
the
this in
creativity.
2 hours.
you know who on this team has a Chivo for Dragon's Lair? The guy that I replaced.
Oh, really?
I have a Chivo. One.
There's an
That's all you
arcade
need.
game of Circus Charlie.
He has one.
There is, yeah. Sadly, it's
Okay.
not in the Mister yet, but we all
Back to
hope
it
that
just
day
real
will
quick.
come.
Back to it real quick.
I'm sorry.
Because
I'm sorry, Green.
no, I feel like there's a lot more to be said about the Final Fantasy thing, and we could probably get very heated on it. So I'm going to put a fork in it. But where we're leaving it, it sounds like redeemed. And I'm going to give it that because of the meta-ness of the redemption arc and how they handled the Realm Reborn. Think
I
about
mean,
it.
the Realm
It was so
Reborn
bad-
is its own redemption story, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yes,
but
then
15 is not a redemption for the franchise. I think
But
15
is
okay.
a redemption because I enjoyed 15 more than 13, right?
15 doesn't have to
Right?
redeem it if 14 already did.
Well,
Right?
Case
no,
in
but a lot
point.
of the franchises we
I'll
talk
take that
about go
point.
up and down, right? So it's kind of left the last in the series is kind of a down note.
This might be a whole ass episode on its own. We'll have our first
Yeah.
ever unresolved, if that's okay. So we're gonna have to change the episode name to Ruined, Redeemed, or Resolved because
Other.
we have our first unresolved.
Unresolved, just like my daddy issues.
Wow.
We need to talk, son. So the fourth game that we're going to talk about tonight, franchise. Do you guys want to do Zelda or would you rather do Sonic?
I think
I'm
we gotta do
easy.
Sonic. We should
Gotta
talk
do
about
I
Sonic.
think Sonic. Yeah.
Okay, then next time we do one of these redemption or ruin or redemption episodes, we'll start off with Zelda, which I think is a strong way to start an episode. So let's talk Sonic. Has the game? Well, I don't think I even have to ask. Yes, the franchise at one point or another has sucked hard. Has it been redeemed since? So let's start off with well, Red has strong opinions on this one. So let's start off with Orange. What do you think was the weakest entry into the Sonic franchise? Courage.
I mean, everything after Sonic and Knuckles, really, right? After they went from 2D to the 3D world, that's when it just completely tanked. I mean, the only game that's been good since, in my opinion, has been the ones that have tried to recapture the 2D spirit. And it's like Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is fantastic. But outside of that, Sonic Adventure, Sonic 2006, Sonic Forces, like it's been so bad when they announced Sonic Frontiers, I'm like, I want that to be good, but I am not buying it. I'm not buying it.
But
what was
can
the name
we
of that?
include-
Sonic Forceps? Is that what you said?
Sonic
Yeah,
Forces.
Sonic Forceps.
The one where you can design your Sonic character.
Sonic
and it gets
Foreskins?
creepy.
This is horrible.
And this is from
But
an
can
M&M
we-
talking to you.
Can we
I
include
wanted
Sonic
to play
and All
Forces
Stars?
because of that.
The character creator.
Yeah.
Can,
I thought he meant the Forceps.
can we include Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed? Because that's fantastic.
We didn't really count the Mario sports games or Mario
Okay,
Kart.
okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
we should
I'm
put
with
them
you. It
in
is
the main
good, though.
series.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So
But,
I would be of a mind to agree that everything up to Knuckles, that sounded very gross. Anything including everything in the series up to Sonic and Knuckles.
The important thing is you
Everything up
insert
to
it
Knuckles
up to the Knuckles, and then
is
you
okay.
have a
Knuckle-
great game. Yeah.
Fantastic. But
Up to
everything
How
after.
many? How many
give a shit.
knuckles?
Well, no, three knuckler.
The
Definitely
three
a three
knuckler.
knuckler.
Yeah.
Wow.
I call it
Okay.
a minivan in my pouch, but you know.
Does anybody else think? God dang.
Sonic 3
He
combined with
lost
Sonic
Green.
and Knuckles is a fantastic platformer. That's
Okay.
my personal take on it.
Does anybody else think that Sonic 2, or anything before Sonic and Knuckles sucked? Or are
No.
we all pretty much of the
I'm
opinion
gonna
this is a
say-
good game?
I have to point this out. Jake and I wholeheartedly agree on something. Holy shit.
It's the
I'm
apocalypse.
shocked.
First time
Yeah.
everything. Orange and I completely agree on this. This is why it's not weird because you're not Jake, you're Orange. No, 1 through 3 and Knuckles, amazing. The 3 Knuckler, fantastic. Anything beyond that, when they tried to go
Trash.
3D, absolute trash. Big time trash. Even I'd play Sonic Spinball before I played fucking Sonic Forces.
Yeah,
You say that
same.
like
I'd
something's
rather
wrong
play
with Spinball.
Spinball.
Are you questioning me?
So I would like to present that I thought Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 were fun. Not nearly as good as the previous entries, but I still played the crap out of them. I played so much Adventure and so much Adventure 2. I actually tried to do all the side stuff in Adventure 2 to unlock Green Hill Zone. I never was able to make it happen because some of those things are just too friggin' hard. But
Mm.
after that is kind of where it lost me when they started doing the Sonic and the Secret Rings or something like that, to where it kind of became an on rails runner, and it lost me to a degree at that point. But what there was Sonic and the Secret Rings, there was Sonic and the Black Knight, which was even worse.
It was like a
Sonic in this
Unleashed
should
where
have
you're
been a
werewolf.
secret game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
There
was
was
Sonic.
the Marvel
there was, like,
crossover.
Sonic
in
and
the
the
trash
quest
can.
for more
2006?
money.
Secret Invasion.
I don't
Sonic
even
and the-
remember the name of the
Tin Wings.
werewolf one.
I think it was Sonic Unleashed, I want to say.
Oh,
Something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Sonic
Yeah.
Unleashed. I never
Yeah.
actually got to play that one, so I don't know.
Okay.
There's a good chance that I know someone who has it, and I don't remember his opinion on it either. But yeah, and he got like every Sonic game there was all the time. But yeah, Sonic Generations actually kind of redeemed it at one point,
Okay.
and
I
then
have that, but I haven't played it.
you know what?
I want it.
Recently did try
Columbia House.
Sonic Lost World was the one I tried recently.
Is there
And that one's
dinosaurs in that
actually
one?
not terrible.
Is that a ripoff of Jurassic Park, or is it just the name?
No, that's the one where
Sonic Domination.
Robotnik apparently manages to force demons to do his bidding. That's what I got from the first hour of
What?
gameplay. That was weird.
Demons?
But the gameplay was fun. Yeah, like they're demons or something. I don't know. There's like 6 or 7 of them, and
Supernatural.
they're all
Did the Winchesters
weird
come and join?
looking.
Help clear them out?
So, but the gameplay was
Terrible.
decent. It was very Mario Galaxy of a Sonic game, honestly.
I'm glad there's
And-
been improvement to the franchise for sure. 'Cause,
It-
yeah.
It actually, when I was playing it, I don't know if any of you guys are going to remember this, but I do. Back in the age of Sega Saturn, there was a Sonic game that was in development for the Saturn that was eventually scrapped called Sonic Extreme. And what Extreme was supposed to be is what Sonic Lost World looks like. Which is, I find interesting given the distance between when they were developed. But
I wonder why they don't call
Forces,
things like
I
Sonic
know-
Found World.
I know
Sonic,
Sonic
look what
Forces
I
was
found.
bad. Look what I found.
I'd play
and-
that.
I'm gonna get to something here in a second that I think is kind of silly that Red just reminded me of. So I started playing Sonic Frontiers. It was gifted to me for Christmas. And the game is actually pretty damn good. It's very strange in how it plays because this isn't really a spoiler, even though I didn't know it going into it because they kind of reveal it in the first 10 minutes. A lot of the game is played in a virtual reality world.
Oh, is it?
So
Okay.
yeah, so the world that you're exploring is the
So, like,
real
Pick a
world,
Million?
or is like Sonic's reality. But when you go in and do stages, you're in a virtual world. So Sonic is jumping back and forth between a world that's run by AI and the real world. And so that sounds weird already, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
It's interesting though. They're handling it well. It feels a little anime-ish, but not in a bad way. And then apparently the game has multiple islands that you explore. So each island has 7 or 8 levels, I think, that you can go to, and those are very much the on rails Sonic game. They're bite-sized, they're quick, you're probably done with an actual stage like that in 10 to 15 minutes unless you're trying to also get the time trial, like to beat it within a certain amount of time. If you're not doing that, you're done with them quick. Um, and some of them are side scrollers, some of them are on the on rails, right behind Sonic, but they're good, they're fun. But the world exploration is really different and controls really well. Like you're running around as Sonic, jumping over pits that you would fall into and have to reload, and it's really easy to navigate jumping over those pits and landing on the little pathways. Like I don't know what it is, but when you have almost no reference below you for Sonic's placement, you're still really good at landing the jumps that you're going for.
That's good.
Hmm.
I saw a
So
gameplay clip
whatever
of
Bubsy 3D's problem was, they fixed.
I saw a clip of like not a boss, but like a larger enemy flying through the air, I guess early on. And when Sonic jumps at it, you kind of land on it, and you have like it's not total free movement. There's a bit of on rail stuff, but it looks and feels like it plays solid from what I can see. Where you run up its back and you do a strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the squid thing that's got sort of
Yes.
the trail behind it that Sonic's
Yeah.
running up and trying to hit the squid?
That looks
was pretty cool.
legit.
That was a tricky one to figure out, but that was a lot of fun. So here's the thing about the islands. Remember when we thought there was one set of Chaos Emeralds?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then all of a sudden Sonic and Knuckles was like, yeah, there's a second set of Chaos Emeralds. Okay.
I like
That's
the
fair.
light and dark
And then there's
crystals
the
from
Master
Final
Emerald.
Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
Huh.
In Sonic Frontiers, there are 4 different sets of Chaos Emeralds.
It's the Infinity Gems on Loki. There's a whole drawer full of these damn things lying around.
Yeah, and so, and this was what I read. I could be wrong. Maybe he loses them after each island and has to recapture them or something. But it seemed like they were different emeralds. And so, going from island to island, you have to get all the emeralds again.
He gets punched in the gut, and like rings, all the emeralds come exploding out.
Yeah, something I don't understand. So that's at least 4 sets of Chaos Emeralds that are probably not the first 2 sets of Chaos Emeralds. So Sonic is up to at least 6 sets of Chaos Emeralds at this point.
I like when you were saying 4 sets because for whatever reason, again, I'm just hearing forceps.
That's not a
Collect the
non-existing
whole
game.
set.
GP doesn't exist.
Okay,
Sonic forceps.
so to bring
Sonic
the bus
forceps 2.
to grab the forceps and bring this thing, to fruition.
The franchise sucks.
Yeah. Where did people fall off? And did
Immediately
it
after 2.
This
The moment
guy.
I turned off 2. I
He
quit
doesn't.
caring.
He doesn't. God damn.
I
After
honestly
Knuckles.
have a little bit of a desire to play Frontiers because I've been hearing good things.
It sounds like
yeah,
Frontiers is kind of like a steering in the franchise to the right path.
And he can do more damage. So you find upgrades that let him attack harder. Up his defense, which sounds weird given that no matter what, if Sonic gets hurt, he loses rings. But higher defense means you lose less rings. So
Okay, I got you.
it's kind of obscured in how they affect it. People have been trying to figure it out. It's tricky. But yeah, more defense means less rings lost, period.
And how many rings do you have to be in possession of to not die when you get hit? Just 1?
Yeah, just 1. But like at the beginning, you also can up how many rings Sonic can hold. So at the beginning of the game, you can
Item
hold
management.
400.
Just what I needed in a Sonic game.
No, it's not as convoluted as that. It's literally just, this game drew a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah.
So there's the little things that you find that upgrade your attack. There's little things you find that upgrade your defense. And then there's these little guys you find called Cocos, which if you played Breath of the Wild,
Are delicious.
Koroks, basically the same thing, except Cocos are made of stone instead of wood. And they're these just little dudes that are lost, and you take them back to where they belong, and you can get an upgrade to either how fast Sonic can run or how many rings he can hold. Simple as that.
Sonic, Breath of the Chili Dog.
But even just having his speed upgraded to 12 out of 99, because you start at 0, his speed is noticeably higher at 12 out of 99.
Oh, shit.
So it's I'm
So they-
concerned about how fast he'll be going at max speed, because it's going to be hard to play.
So
Yeah.
they finally figured out blast processing.
Yeah. But none of
Okay.
those upgrades affect the stages either. When he goes into the virtual reality worlds, his upgrades don't come with.
That's a weird choice, no?
It is, but it makes the experience of those stages where there's challenges that you have to, beat it within a certain amount of time and stuff like that,
Okay.
not get too trivial. So I
Right.
approve, even though I find it strange.
Yeah. Okay.
It is strange, but I
But-
approve it.
Yeah.
like
So
my foot
Frontiers
fetish.
really did find its footing for the franchise again.
Okay. I don't know. Is that strong enough to? Do we think it's redeemed? I'll go with whatever. I really cannot overstate how apathetic I am about this franchise. So if anybody else has a strong opinion, I'm there for it. If you want to say it's redeemed, I will go with it. If you want to say no, it's not redeemed, I will continue to wonder, why is Mike Wazowski wearing a blue M&M outfit?
Mike Wazowski.
You forgot your paperwork, Wazowski. Not important.
I'm
Anyway, back to
always
Sonic. What do we think?
watching.
In the trash, or has it been redeemed?
I honestly, after playing Sonic Mania, was that the one that you suggested
Yeah,
to me?
Sonic
Orange?
Mania. Yeah.
I go with redeemed, because I thought it was a lost cause until I went back and just had a huge nostalgia bomb blow up in my room while playing this. So I'm gonna go with redeemed. Well done.
Have
Yeah.
any of the prior 2D games been notably bad? Because I feel like they just didn't get played as much since they were on GBA and
Which one was the
PSP and Vita.
2D? Which one was the 2D one where you would go back in time throughout the game?
That's Generation.
Sonic
Sonic
CD.
CD.
Is
Yeah.
that generate? Is that CD?
that
was
was-
that a 2D one?
That was Sega CD. Yeah.
I thought Sega CD was the 3D looking one.
No.
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 There's Sonic
Okay.
3D
If
Blast.
it's the 2D one where you go back
Yeah.
in time and you go forward in time, that's the CD one. Okay.
Yeah, the
think
isometric
that
one
one
was
was
3D Blast,
Mm,
which
Actually,
was
the same-
actually
Sonic-
also a half decent game.
It's
Sonic
not bad.
CD was good. Sonic CD
Yeah.
was good.
For 3D Blast,
Yeah, Sonic
if you played the
CD
Genesis version, sorry, Wolf, if you played
No, go ahead.
Sonic 3D Blast
Wolf.
today, there is a official ROM hack from one of the developers of the game. He went back and released a patch for Sonic 3D Blast that makes the game a hell of a lot better. If you ever want to play 3D Blast again, try that patch out.
Or, just play the Saturn version. I don't know how bad the Genesis one is because I never played it. I only played the Saturn.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I think it was a decent game.
And you will refer to
Yeah,
Wolf as his real name, Amarillo. I think that's yellow in Spanish.
Oh yes. Call me green if you're nasty.
Anaranjada, verde,
Verde.
rojo, azul, and orange.
Oh yes, orange.
It just rolls
Como
off the
se
tongue.
dice orange.
So exotic.
Isn't that naranja?
Naranja.
Yes.
Anaranjada.
Yeah.
Guys, I love this. I love the idea of redeemed or not. I don't like that we are already saying everything has been, well, I guess only 50%. No, 75% have been redeemed, because you guys are saying, you know what, Sonic, they're back, baby. And I don't know, but I will go with it.
voting unresolved on Sonic until I try Frontiers.
Yeah,
That's
I'd agree.
fair.
Yeah, I
Okay,
want to
so we
try
got-
it.
I think
Yeah,
got me
anything
hyped
that's
for it.
2D is, I think you have to, 3D has to be redeemed, but every time Sonic comes out with a 2D game, I think it's automatically kind of redeemed.
Yeah, because I tried some of the handheld ones, the 2D games, and they're good. They didn't have the screen real estate that you kind of need for a Sonic game going that fast, but the gameplay was
What about
good
the
for
Game
all,
Gear Sonics,
all
huh?
three Sonic Advances.
Hot
I
fire.
believe Sonic Rush on the PSP was decent. So if it's a 2D Sonic, you're pretty much
Yeah.
gonna enjoy it. If it's a 3D one, it's a toss up. And right
Yeah.
now we're on the up.
Okay. So on
We've
the
been
fence,
tossed. We're waiting to catch.
yeah, we'll have to update that one. I tell you what, Sonic can be the one that we touch base on every time we do one of these episodes. Any new developments with Sonic today? No. Okay, still on the fence.
Joe, have you have a report on Sonic yet? No, Jim, it's not come in yet. Keep us posted.
Oh my
Yes.
God, is Red's real name Jim? Not the.
It is.
I mean, not the
It's
docs.
it's Jim Rojas, bounty hunter.
Jimmy
Jim
Red.
Jimmy
Jaime
Red.
Rojas.
Red. Hard on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside.
As
I
opposed to just being hot all the way through.
listen. I'm melting your hands and your mouth.
Yeah, you look like you do.
Yeah,
Come over here, big boy.
Oh my god, shut it down.
Hey, Orange. Orange, shut it. Shut it. I see you throwing me shit, Orange.
Orange, I saw
All right,
you
guys.
order that fucking stack of pancakes at Denny's for me. I know what you're doing.
The weight of my pants, syrup. Everybody knows
Syrup.
this.
Strawberry syrup.
That's why ever since high school they called me Green. I think that's the only reason. Okay, anyway, guys, let's wrap it up. I gotta say, I like this kind of category because I mean, no matter what, every franchise, I mean, has had its missteps. Nobody is immune to this. So really, the testament of a game's metal is whether or not it can misstep but come back. So we've got some examples of ones who've been able to do that, and two that we're still unsure of. But so far, nobody is irredeemable. And I kind of like that. I like what that says about us as a group. So with that in mind, let's go around. Tell everybody where they can find you. Orange? Also-
Well, I mean, we're kind of out of work right now, so you can find me here.
On the corner of 23rd and Post. Blue, where can people find you?
Well,
what are you playing?
I'm here, but if you want to see somebody playing Chrono Trigger, most Monday evenings in the Mountain Time Zone, there's Sinistar 77, twitch.tv/Sinistar 77, playing Chrono Trigger.
We are not here to promote things that are not having to do with the podcast.
Wow.
Get it? 'Cause we're all wearing these costumes.
twitch.tv/Sinistar 77.
Come on down for great savings. And Yellow, where can people find you? What are you up to lately?
Well, I've been laid up because of my almondectomy, but should be getting back to things soon.
God damn it. Topical.
Orange, what the hell, man? Am I not terrified enough as it is that I got to go with this? Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Everybody, you want to just throw the audience some sexy eye? Here we go.
All right. Okay.
The rarest of all configurations.
This jaundiced eyeball.
Our next episode, are we redeemable? I don't know. And then Red, what are you up to lately? Where can people find you? What do you got going on?
This asshole I live with is playing a lot of Dead Space on Twitch, the new remake. You should probably go check him out. He's dumb, but I love him.
You
Apparently we're
watch
all
out
from fucking Jersey.
who you're
Where-
saying that about.
Where
He's
can
he's several loving texts.
where can they find this asshole?
Yeah, you can find him on Spaz TV or some shit. I don't know what it's called.
That's not a website. It should be.
If anybody goes to look at that
Like
and that's a
Station
bad
Television or some
website,
shit. I don't know.
I have
Yeah,
nothing
hopefully
to
it's
do
not a
with any of
bad one.
this.
We're sorry, YouTube.
And my name is
You can
Green.
find me on Twitch. You can find him on Twitch TV and YouTube and here and crying in the gutter because the reason I have this mustache is because I ain't got a place to shave.
Oh, you keep that mustache, Red. I adhere to the idea that the Red should have always had the mustache. And my name is Green Prime or GP, and you can basically just find me here. Now that I've got a whole lot of free time, lost my job.
I feel like we're all
Jesus,
parallel
I'm
universe.
Whoa, or yellow. Jesus, did you guys catch that?
I saw some teeth.
Gee, I'm
Hey,
so sorry. You were saying
press B to cancel.com, everybody.
yes,
Press
Like and
Eminem to
subscribe.
Eminem.
Like and subscribe.
and
Penance is waiting.
should we all make some funny noises on the way out? Maybe make our mouths look like buttholes or something.
Yeah.
Nah.